That spreadsheet you're staring at right now. It's completely neutral. Every thought you're having about it, whether it's boring, urgent, or overwhelming, those are stories you're telling yourself about columns and numbers. And there's a guided practice at the end that shows you exactly how this works. Here's what we're going to explore. Nothing in your environment has built-in meaning. You're the one giving everything its emotional charge, importance, or story. It's a practice in recognizing that your mind is constantly narrating reality, assigning meaning to things that are fundamentally neutral. Understanding this gives you power over your experience because it means you can change your interpretation of anything. Think about Sarah for a moment. She sits at her kitchen table, laptop open, staring at an email from her boss about the quarterly report. Instantly, her shoulders tense. She reads criticism into the neutral request, imagines disappointment, creates urgency where none was stated. The screen shows black text on white background, but her mind has written an entire drama about career failure and judgment. We all do this. We're meaning-making machines, constantly writing stories about neutral objects and situations. Your mind is like a live news commentator at a silent movie, providing non-stop interpretation and analysis of what's essentially neutral images on a screen. The commentator makes every scene dramatic, urgent, or meaningful, but the movie itself is just light and shadow. Let's stay with Sarah for a moment. As she stares at that email, her chest tightens. Her breathing gets shallow. She's already composing defensive responses in her head, explaining why the numbers aren't better, why she needs more time. But here's what's actually happening. Pixels arranged in letter shapes on a backlit screen. That's it. No criticism. No disappointment. No urgency. Just photons hitting her retina in patterns we call words. The email says, "Please send the Q3 report by Friday." That's 7 words. Neutral information. But Sarah's inner commentator is already running. He's disappointed. He thinks I'm behind. Everyone else probably submitted theirs already. I should have worked on this last weekend. Why do I always procrastinate? This is just like that time in college when, notice how fast that happened. In seconds, she went from reading words to reliving decades of perceived failures. The commentator doesn't just interpret, it connects everything to everything else, building elaborate narratives from the simplest inputs. This is the uncomfortable recognition we're working with. You're constantly telling yourself what everything means. And most of the time, you don't even know you're doing it. Here's where it gets interesting. Pick up your phone right now. Look at it. Before your mind starts its commentary, what is it? Glass? Metal? Plastic? Arranged in a particular shape. Maybe it's warm from being in your pocket. That's the neutral reality. Now watch what happens. Your mind immediately starts, I should check my messages. What if I missed something important? The battery's getting low. Typical. This crack in the screen is annoying. I really should upgrade, but they're so expensive now. See the commentator at work. The phone didn't change. It's still just glass, metal, and plastic. But suddenly it's a source of obligation, anxiety, irritation, and financial worry. You did that. Not the phone. Sarah's still at her kitchen table. She closes the laptop for a moment and looks around. The kitchen is just a kitchen, cabinets, counters, appliances. But her commentator keeps running. This place is a mess. I should have cleaned up after breakfast. The dishwasher needs fixing. We can't afford repairs right now. If I got that promotion, the kitchen didn't attack her. The dirty dishes didn't judge her. She's living in a world of her own narration, and she doesn't even realize it. There's a moment, and maybe you've felt this, when you catch yourself mid-story. Sarah opens her laptop again, sees the email, and something shifts. She notices herself creating the whole drama. She observes the commentator at work. It's like suddenly hearing the narrator in a movie and realizing you can turn the volume down. The movie keeps playing, the email is still there, but without the dramatic voiceover. It's just an email. This is the strange realization. Objects and situations don't come pre-loaded with meaning. That coffee cup on your desk isn't inherently comforting or annoying. Your car isn't actually reliable or frustrating. Your job isn't meaningful or soul-crushing. These are all stories you're telling yourself about neutral things. We think meaning lives in objects, but it doesn't. It lives in our minds. And that changes everything, because if you're the one creating the meaning, you're also the one who can change it. Not through positive thinking or forcing new beliefs, but by simply noticing the commentator and realizing you don't have to believe everything it says. Sarah tries something different. She looks at the email again, but this time she watches her mind's reaction like she's observing someone else. There it goes, she thinks, creating a whole story about disappointment and failure from 7 neutral words. She doesn't try to stop the commentator. That's like trying not to think of a pink elephant. Instead, she just notices it, labels it. Story about criticism, story about being behind, story about not being good enough. And something interesting happens. When you name the story as a story, it loses some of its power. It's still there, but it doesn't grip you the same way. It's like realizing you're watching a horror movie instead of living in one. The images might still be scary, but you remember you're sitting safely in a theater. This is what we mean by discovering you can observe your meaning making without being controlled by it. You don't have to change the commentary. You don't have to think positive thoughts. You just have to recognize that the commentator isn't reporting facts, it's creating fiction. When Sarah really gets this, not just intellectually but in her body, her shoulders drop. Her breathing deepens. She responds to the email. Report will be sent by Friday. Period. No drama. No over-explaining. No anticipatory defensiveness. The email was always just a request for information. Her boss was always just a person asking for a report. The quarterly numbers were always just data in cells. She had turned them into a courtroom where she was perpetually on trial. This is the quiet relief of realizing most of what stresses you is your own narration. It's not that problems don't exist or that challenges aren't real. It's that we add layers and layers of meaning that make everything harder than it needs to be. Think about your own life. That project that feels overwhelming. Strip away the story and what's left. Tasks on a list. That difficult conversation you're dreading. Without the narrative, it's just 2 people exchanging words. That mistake you made last week that you keep replaying. It's a past event that exists now only in your commentary about it. You're not trapped by your circumstances. You're caught in your stories about your circumstances. And stories can be rewritten, or better yet, recognized as optional commentary on a fundamentally neutral world. When you truly realize that you're the author of the meaning you give to everything around you, the grip that circumstances have on your mood starts to loosen. You realize you're not at the mercy of your environment, you're creating your experience of it moment by moment. And in that recognition, there's freedom. Not the freedom to control everything, but the freedom to stop being controlled by your own narration. The freedom to let that spreadsheet just be a spreadsheet. To let that email just be an email. To let this moment just be this moment, without the weight of all the meaning you usually pile on top of it. The commentator will keep talking. That's what minds do. But you don't have to believe everything you think. You can watch the movie without the sound. And in that silence, you might discover something you've been missing. Peace with what is, before you decide what it means. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let's take a moment to settle. Find a comfortable position where you can be still for the next few minutes. Let your eyes close if that feels right, or soften your gaze downward. Notice your breath arriving and leaving. No need to change it, just let it flow naturally, like waves on a shore. Feel the weight of your body where it meets the chair or cushion. Let yourself be held. There's nothing you need to do right now except be here. Now bring to mind something from your day. Maybe an email you received, a conversation you had, a task on your list. Choose something small and specific. Notice what happens in your body when you think of it. Maybe a slight tension, a subtle bracing. This is your commentator beginning its work. Watch the story starting to form. The meaning you're already assigning. The weight you're adding to something that might be quite simple. Now see if you can let the story soften, not pushing it away, just letting it become lighter. Like background music you can choose to notice or ignore. What remains when the commentary quiets? Just the simple fact. The email is just words. The task is just an action. The conversation was just an exchange. Feel how much space opens up when you're not carrying all those stories. Your shoulders might drop. Your jaw might soften. This is your body recognizing the difference between what is and what you think about what is. Rest here for a moment. In this space between facts and fiction, between what happened and what it means. This is always available to you, this quiet place where things can just be what they are. When you're ready, take a deeper breath. Feel your body here in this moment. Notice the sounds around you returning. Carry this recognition with you. The commentator will return, but you don't have to believe everything it says. You can watch the movie with or without the narration. Gently open your eyes when you feel complete. Thank you for practicing with us today. If you'd like, there's a free digital copy of A Course in Miracles available through the link in the description. You're also welcome to leave a simple comment such as, "I am grateful. Thank you for taking this time with us today." Remember, the stories your mind tells about ordinary moments, those are optional. Be gentle with yourself as you notice the commentator at work. You're already more free than you think. Until next time, take care.